as you get older, to create newness is really hard. Like,
Yeah.
where does newness come from? You have to schedule it. Like, it doesn't just happen. You go to work, you go home, you put your kids to sleep, you wake up, you do it again. You have to schedule newness. Like, Rick's a really...
Well, this is a very unique kind of podcast. I've never done something like this before, obviously, but basically Jesse Itzler, a good friend of mine, is basically going across the country for 2 weeks on a bike with a gaggle of friends. And I thought this would be very interesting to kind of hear about the mindset, how the training is, how this whole thing even kind of evolved. Knowing Jesse, I'm sure it was your idea, and you thought, okay, like, who am I going to get involved with? Well, how did you even think of this? Because knowing, just start, because it's like, I don't even know where to begin with you.
Well, no, I mean, I have a philosophy that I follow that I've learned from Kevin, who will be here in a minute, where every year I try to put something big on my calendar. And I've been doing it for years. Here's Kevin.
Oh.
And take a seat, Kev. So...
You're a beast for finding that.
So I've been doing that for a long time. And way back in 2006, I kind of made like a list of things I wanted to do in my lifetime. And ride across the country was always one of them. But it was never the right time. You know, I always had work or this or that. So this year I was talking to Chris, and who's a good friend of mine. And I said, you know, he said, there's no better time than now. Let's make it happen. Let's carve out, you know, how fast can we do it? We started mapping this out, and we said, let's take 2 weeks and try to get across the country 3,000 miles in 2 weeks. And then it was like, who else is crazy enough to do it?
Right. And honestly, Devin beside me, it's crazy enough, because I feel like you're always like side by side with like these kind of action-oriented things. Like Hell on the Hill, I always see you guys doing it together, even though I know that's your thing. A lot of these things, right? Like you're kind of, are you just up for everything, whenever, anytime?
Yeah, it's like, I think everyone at this table can agree when Jesse says, let's go do something, you kind of just say, let's go.
No, it's amazing. Nobody kind of creates more excitement than you, Jesse,
Well,
honestly.
I appreciate it. But everybody here is built a life on adventure. Everybody here has really good work-life balance. There's 10 of us riding, and everybody here has really, you know, made sure to emphasize while they build their career, whatever their career. And we have some that are in the police, that are policemen, some that have been in the military, some that are trainers, that while they're doing that, and entrepreneurs, Dev, Rick, Brian has his own company, you know, we try to make sure that we also take care of ourselves and do stuff that we love to do. We love it. Chris is a term that I love, and he says, you know, he calls it being adventure ready.
Adventure ready, yeah. I mean, when that call comes, you want to be in a place that you can say yes to the phone call. And that is, whether it's skiing in Japan with your buddies or it's a bike ride like this, that you have a base level of fitness just because you live a healthy lifestyle, to then say, you know what, I can be ready. How long do I need? 6 weeks, 8 weeks, what's it got to be? And then going from there. And so I think everybody at this table and in this group is always adventure ready, and then pivot to whatever the adventure is.
Okay, so let's break it down. So you have this idea. You said this was something that you wanted to do on your bucket list. You then called your friends. Like, what's your background? So we start with you, because Chris, you have talk about your background.
I'm a former athlete. I swam in the 92 and 96 games, and did triathlon for many years, and then moved into sort of coaching and endurance coaching and mindset coaching. And so now I work with Jesse on a variety of ventures when it comes to coaching, mindset, executive coaching, and then we also have All Day Running Company.
Wow. Okay. And Kevin, what is your background?
So I'm a police officer, and
okay.
I love the term adventure ready. I like to always think that if anyone calls me any day, I can always do a half Ironman and maybe even an Ironman. But just like Chris said, just to be ready, like always ready to do something. Jesse calls, I'm ready.
So I feel like you guys all have the same. So that's how you guys are all kind of. It sounds to me have a very similar mindset, regardless of the actual background you do day to day. You guys all come from that adventurous background and are somewhat athletic in your life, doing something, maybe not an Olympian, but something else. You look like you are like a cyclist, though. Are you a cyclist? You don't look like with your outfit. I think you kind of a little bit. You kind of give me like Lance Armstrong vibes a little bit, you know, just a little bit. And not to kind of go through everybody here, but overall, like have you guys all had cycling as your background a little bit, or is it just all different types of sports that you now thought, okay, you can train for this?
I just bought the bike 3 weeks ago.
What?
I just bought the bike 3 weeks ago.
You've never biked before?
No, I mean, not until 3 weeks ago. I mean, I know how to ride a bike.
Not a road bike, not like a road
like
bike
a mountain
though.
bike.
Yeah.
But no, road bike. No, I'm learning signals for sand and stop and fucking slow down. Yeah, you figure it out.
That's why Deb's in the back. No one's riding behind Deb.
So-
Get pulled.
Well, is there like somebody who's steering the ship, though, so to speak, that's kind of keeping everything in line? Because
Nate,
Nate.
our former pro mountain biker, and so.
where's he? He's not here.
He's outside
making the
building
bikes.
his bikes.
Oh, he's great. Okay. So he's kind of so he's not really involved in this podcast today.
But there's
Okay.
two parts to this, Jen. I mean,
Okay.
part one is getting across the country safely.
Yeah, oh, I know.
But part two is like, when do you get a chance to go away with friends? Seriously, like we all have families, and when do you have a chance to go away for 2 weeks with friends? So we're getting our bikes across the country, but we're bringing a sauna, we're bringing cold plunges, we're gonna break down at night in campsites in an RV and
Wow.
tents, and we're turning it into like really like teenagers going on a team tour. We're turning it into a real experience. And the common thread is everybody here has an athletic background or is into this kind of stuff, but more importantly, like we understand the importance of friendship and experiences, and we're not trying to set a world record here. Like, we want to have fun. We want to see the country. I've never seen the country, And I think for anyone listening, as you get older, to create newness is really hard. Like,
Yeah.
where does newness come from? You have to schedule it. Like, it doesn't just happen. You go to work, you go home, you put your kids to sleep, you wake up, you do it again. You have to schedule newness. And like, Rick's a really good example of that. Like, Rick is a really aggressive calendar. He plans trips, he plans races, he plans date nights, and he sold 2 businesses or more, I don't even know. But he's got a really aggressive planning schedule. And for us, this is about newness. It's about the unknown. Like, how do we plan it? We're loosey-goosey planned. But a lot of the adventure is figuring it out as you go.
Okay, so what kind of training schedule did have to drive around, like to drive your bike from one part of the country to another? That requires a lot of training and time. So what is that training like, and what is like the breakdown day to day?
You should definitely take this, but I personally think that everyone's kind of been training their whole life for something like this, and not to go back to Adventure Ready, but like everyone's in shape, so now it's just like,
honing it,
altering it a little bit. So rather than doing 500 push-ups a day, right? Maybe I'm only gonna do 100 and go do 30 miles instead. I mean, that's for me at least.
No, I
I'm
understand.
just altering that part.
But I'm just saying, like, I'm in shape, right? But I don't cycle for hours and hours every day, right? So even if I would say yes to something like this, I would imagine every day you'll be what? You'll be cycling how many hours a day to get from here to, across the country in 14 days? Or just 12 hours, right? Like how many hours are you guys planning on driving a bike every day? Like 12 hours?
Sun up to sundown.
Right, so that's a whole different modality of training. So if I'm a runner, for example, and I've never done my bike, or I've never done whatever, it would take me a while to get to that level. Like how many months do you have to train, like reverse engineer, to get ready, even if you are adventure ready?
So just to take it one step back before to even answer that, Kevin was talking about this earlier, but this is our job for 14 days. So that you can't go into this with a lot on your mind or a lot of work. So we've cleared the slate. Anything like this, you got to clear the slate. And this is our job. So like it starts with not how many miles or whatever. We've all committed. We all talked about it today. Everybody here is committed to suffer. No, they are. We're committed to go through whatever it takes to make sure that this group gets across. So it's less about how many miles, it's like there's a serious commitment and bond already formed. And what I love about this stuff is the bonds that come from anything like this that you do with friends, that's tough and you suffer with it as a group. It's so much deeper than sitting in a cubicle for 10 years in an office. So the training, but going back to this, so it starts with the mindset that we're committed to doing it. We've already done it. We're filling in the blank. The ride's done. There's no way we're not getting across the country. We just got to get across the country now. So the commitment is there. The training varies. Jack, how old are you?
66.
So Jack is the oldest of the group. Jack is 66 years old. He's 66 years old, and he has been, he's been training. I mean, what's some of the miles that you've done?
Kevin, the longest has been 100-mile rides.
Right. Couple? Several?
Rides. Yeah.
How many hundreds?
I think only two, three, maybe. Yeah, I think I did three.
Yeah. So you don't have to go crazy with the training, right, Chris? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, you asked how many months of training did we do? None of us did any months of training.
Yeah.
We did a bunch of weeks, but that's, I think, the group that Jesse put together, that we all know we're going to figure this out physically, mentally, emotionally for 2 weeks, however we need to. And we have some stronger cyclists and some newer cyclists, but put this group together, it's going to get the job done.
Right. No, I'm just more. This is more like just tactical
Yeah.
curiosity, right? Like,
And from a tactical standpoint, the only thing we had to get ready for is getting used to sitting on a bike seat.
yeah.
Because it gets uncomfortable, it gets really difficult after a while, but that's sort of the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks, you're just sort of doing reps of that.
Now, what happens if one person doesn't want to ride like more than a few? Like they don't feel well. Can they go into the van
Yes.
and like? So there's no like if there's not like no one's a stickler, right? Like so if one person can't do one day, that's fine. Like it's
Yeah.
that's what you mean by
Yeah.
loosey goosey, right? Like it's not like a stringent thing where.
yeah, I mean, someone had asked me on Instagram, are we going to post our Strava, like our
Yeah.
digitally post our daily mileage? You know, they wanted to make sure that the guy said to me, like, I want to make sure you guys are fully transparent. And I was like, I'm riding a bike. I'm not running for office.
Yeah,
You know, like,
right.
Like, who am I trying to impress?
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
But you know, like, it's the same mindset. We have, I guess, Rick, you have your own company. We have 2 or 3 people here that are business owners. And I think it's a similar kind of thing. It's like, when you start a business or you do a ride, any big goal, it's like, if you get hung up in the
Yeah.
how, too much of the how, it gets really intimidating.
And overwhelming.
And overwhelming.
Yeah.
And like, we never think about, like, I never think about the how. It's like, you know, you create this idea and this vision of what you want to do, and then you figure it out.
Yeah.
We're riding our bike across the country, and then we're going to figure it out.
That's so interesting. It reminds me like this should be like a movie, like an old school. Remember the movie Old School or one of those where the guys just a bunch of guys just randomly do something and like it seems very like this. It's kind of like it's very fluid. That doesn't really feel
But in
like
that is the
there's
beauty.
no like yes,
Right? In
it
that is the
is
adventure.
yes
In
yes
that is the curiosity. In that is that we don't know.
Yeah.
In that is like that adventure because we don't know what 2 days from now will bring.
right
And
right.
that's what exactly fires up this group.
It's
is
for the
that
experience.
We know we'll figure it out.
But like, okay, but how about and I keep on going back to like tactical, like logistics, weather, or stuff like that. Like, who's the person is that Nate as well? Who's
Probably.
kind of like figuring out the weather and stuff,
Yeah, I mean-
details like that? Because,
We have evening tactical meetings
Okay.
where we're going to go over the day, how it went, what we can improve, and what the next day looks like, and terrain and wind and conditions, and how we're feeling, and then we're just going to work from there,
Right.
one day at a time.
but
I
it's
mean,
more
something-
experience oriented,
Yeah.
not so much about the Strava, you
Yes.
know,
But you know,
data.
no one here knows, everybody here, we're starting tomorrow morning. Everybody here knows their role and responsibility for tomorrow and what the route is, the elevation, the wind, the weather in the morning, the weather at night. Not one single person here knows day 2. And definitely no one knows day 3. But that's the beauty. No, but Jen, you want to talk about tactics.
Yes.
Think about that. Because we can't get to day 2 if we don't complete day 1. So we're locked into day 1. We have a plan and a mission. We broke a 14-day thing into digestible bites.
Right.
Tomorrow's day 1. And then after that, then we're going to break and peel apart day 2 in an ops meeting. Everyone will get their roles and responsibilities. Because we have some guys that can climb better than others. Some guys that want to grind at night. Some guys are workhorses. Like, everybody has a different role. And that role will change.
Right.
Like, for example, Rick's a very skilled rider. He's a world-class Ironman. He ran 7 marathons in 7 continents, so did Chris. If it's raining and sloppy, Rick might have a lead role that day. So every day is different, but like anything, it's digestible bites. Literally, like, no one here is thinking of this as 3,000 miles. Everybody's thinking of it. What we're all really, really good at, because we've done a bunch of endurance stuff, is pedal by pedal.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's good at being present. Because if you get out of that mindset, oh my God, we got 2,960 more miles, it's done. It's just pedal to pedal, hill to hill. And that's the approach.
What about like nutrition then? Did you guys, is there that, are you guys thinking about that? Did anyone eat properly to training that wise for energy, for anything? Or is it just also winging it? You're eating just a bunch of like whatever? Come on, Devin.
I mean, the whole thing is fast. 14 days.
And
On
blindfolded.
water, you're doing a 5-day water fast starting
Water,
today,
of course,
obviously.
so not really a fast.
Right.
I've noticed in like endurance, like, I've climbing mountains like 41 hours straight, right? Like you're kind of just getting whatever you can in your body.
Mhm.
Like whenever your body's hungry and it's like, you feel that you just get whatever you can kind of feel. Like there's no, I've never really had a protocol for that, but I do know the only protocol I've stuck to is more fats. Because like when you go long periods of time, your body starts to burn fats versus carbs.
Mhm.
And so anything over an hour or two, I'm just eating fats as much as possible. A lot of honey, a lot of coconut mania, just fats. Chris, I mean.
Yeah, and we're going to be on the bike so many hours.
So
that
many
our
hours.
food windows are
Yeah.
going to be very limited.
Mhm.
And so we're just going to be eating the entire time. And it is sort of like whatever we can get now. We are lucky. Yeah, we have a chef.
There is a chef.
Right,
Who's
I mean, listen,
cooking.
exactly.
There is
And
Chef
so
Leslie.
Chef
she has
Leslie.
put a lot of thought into this and a lot of care into making sure we get in a lot of calories, like 8 to 10,000 calories in the little windows that we can actually eat.
Yeah.
Because while you're on the bike, you can't eat that much, so you're already creating a deficit. So those 12 hours, 10 hours that we're off the bike of the 24-hour window, we're also sleeping in there somewhere. So it's going to have this eating a lot component.
Did most of you guys lose a lot of weight just because of the amount of, even if you are adventure ready, I would imagine that you would still you'd lose a lot of weight just
Yeah.
by adding this amount of added exercise.
We're going to retain a lot of water. It's just that's how the body responds and will react to the inflammation that this is creating. But yeah, I would see afterwards, that 3-4 days after, it's just going to come shedding off of us, and it's going to be a good before and after picture.
My
How
gosh,
much
for sure.
weight did you lose training, Kev?
About 14 pounds.
Did you lose any, Tim?
No.
No?
Probably gained weight.
Yeah, I think.
Really?
How about you?
I think that like the 14 days, like as we just continue to go and go, like one thing is we're gonna like ride ourselves into shape, like because everyone here is not like an amateur or professional cyclist, like there's the RAM, the Race Across America, and people are trying to kind of compare that to what we're doing. It's different, and we're here to build bonds and to have an experience, but to get through with the determination every day. And I think that, once we leave San Diego, we hit the first hill, reality.
That's true.
Exactly.
Shit, we got a long way to go.
Right, and you
Yeah.
guys didn't all know each other, you said before too,
No.
right?
We're gonna learn with each other,
You're gonna get to know each other on this ride, basically.
Yeah.
and our legs are gonna get to learn
Yeah.
the road. I think that, but the mind, I think the common thing here is mindset. As anyone who's done anything endurance-wise or anything that they don't think they can do, they have to put their mind to it.
Also, what I think is really interesting for anyone listening is like when you can put yourself in a group of people like this. I'm the youngest kid in the group. I'm 30. I'm a sponge. I'm listening to Jack and his stories. I mean, the guy was in the military for 25 years. Jesse, 5+ companies, 3+ companies sold. All these guys have like insane stories. Everyone has a story. All you have to do is ask. And so, like anyone listening, highly encourage. Get a group of people, even if you've never met them. I met Jack this morning for the first time.
Oh, really?
So it's like, but I've already learned so much about him where I'm like, man, this guy's wise. This is a wise guy. You
Right.
know? And I don't know, I just think it's where your brain really starts to expand, is when you meet new people and see new things.
Yeah.
School doesn't do that for you. Cubicles will never do that for you. A happy hour, a real estate happy hour, that's never going to do it for you. But when you have totally random people, somewhat, but have similar values, I think that's what everyone shares here. Everyone likes adventure. Everyone loves their family. Everyone wants to grow. Everyone likes doing gritty stuff.
Wants to suffer together.
Yeah, everyone wants to suffer. Everyone has the same values. So you start putting those people together and you start seeing new stuff, your brain starts to expand.
Well, shared experiences what bonds people together the most, right?
Can I say something, Jen?
Yes, of course you can.
So I think that, I will say that, when like, it's just lifestyle for everyone. I think lifestyle for everyone here is that you want to push up. Everyone's athletic at some point in life. And I think, I don't want to embarrass Jess, but we're Jesse is a person who has motivated a lot of people. And, you know, I saw Jesse do his first 100-mile race. I crewed him back when no one was doing 100-mile races. And I don't just, how many people showed up to Texas? We had 100 people. I mean, this was 2007, maybe?
Yeah.
Look at how many people run 100-mile races back then. We had an RV, we had bands, we had like, well, Jesse had bands. And I mean, but my job, I tell you, I was so nervous because Jesse's cousin and myself, we had to keep track of the laps because they had a counter, but we had to make sure and it was so nerve-wracking to do a 100-miler. But my point is he's taken that, and the community that we had there, everyone was there to watch him. We had campsites, his parents, his dad was there, and it was the most incredible experience. From there, Jesse raised $1 million in 2007 doing a 100-mile race.
You did?
$1 million. He gave $100 grand to 10 different charities. Let me tell you something. Those people are still right by Jesse, and from there, all this is just built on itself, and that's why we're all similar. But you know, Jesse put this in motion for us.
Right.
And that's as a
you.
friend, Jesse's been a great friend to me for so long. So that's, you know.
I just think,
That's a really
thank
amazing
you.
story.
Yeah, it's the
I didn't
truth.
know that.
Yeah.
It's
Well, the greatest thing about having, people's relationship with money is very warped. And I don't think, if I were to say to people listening, like if people wired you $1 million or $5 million, what would you do with it? Most people don't even know what they're even working for.
Right.
But the money, should make your life better. It should make it richer in experiences. And like for me, I don't have a lot of Picassos on my wall. I have zero. I don't have a lot of, I like doing this. And the best part of it is you get to do it with your friends, and you get to treat your friends to things that all of us wouldn't have been able to probably do, the way we're doing it. And we talk about that all the time. And it's not like we hide from it. Like it's an amazing gift, and we're in a position to do it. And that's the best part about this, it's being able to share things like this with people. And like for me, I feel so lucky that I'm gonna, like we always said, how can we be in this age healthy enough, financially okay enough, and spiritual enough to take this journey, and to have husbands, wives, but friends, kids, whatever, girlfriends that give us the freedom to do it. Like a lot of times you could get met with resistance, like, what are you doing? Like that would lead to so much resentment. If Rick said to his wife, I want to do this, and his wife said, Rick, I'm not letting you do that, he would resent his wife. But he's in a relationship where we're all in relationships where we can do that. And that's like such a gift from our partners, because I have a lot of friends that like, I'll never be allowed to do that. And, that's a tough way to go through it.
Yeah, absolutely. That was my next question. Like, what do your families say? Even like your mom or dad who's still alive, whoever, because there's an element of danger, right? You're riding on.
Tell anybody.
Yeah. Well, maybe one person's listening. No, but I mean, just the element of danger alone. Not even so much about like not letting you leave the house, like a wife or whatever, but just like your kids or your mom or your dad, like because it is kind of a nerve-wracking thing to be on the road with cars and whatever else can happen, right?
Yeah.
Anybody have any? Do you want to? How about you? Do you want to say something?
Well, I'd like to get back to the wife thing because I don't even know half these guys' wives, but I know that's a fact what Jesse said.
Yeah.
Being in the military for 25 years, and my wife would always say, go. I said, it's going to be 3 months. Go. Is that what you want to do? For this trip, as Jesse says, I use Morse code if you want to communicate with me. My wife downloaded the equipment list. She bought everything on that list. She packed it up. I came in. She goes, your underwear is over there if you want it. And other than that, you're ready to go.
That's a keeper.
That's amazing. Where do you live, by the way? Like,
I live in New York.
New York. Okay. Where do most of you guys? Are you guys all New York?
California.
California.
Arizona.
And so this is, by the way, is this your first adventure with Jesse? I know yours is not, yours is not, yours is not, yours is definitely not. Have you guys had other adventures all together, like even if it wasn't with this particular group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jack, Kevin Kevin and I did a hike up at Mount Washington in New Hampshire, and I was concerned that if you in Mount Washington in the winter when you do a hike and you get up there, if you hurt your ankle, there's no way down. So I said to Kevin, what happens if I sprain my ankle? It's minus 30 degrees up there. You know, it's 5 miles down or whatever. How am I gonna get down? Kevin's like, I'll take you down. I said, what if you sprain your ankle? He's like, good point, I'll bring Jack. And that's how I met Jack.
That's really, really funny.
funny.
There was a pause.
There was a pause, like, he's like, you got a good point. I'll bring Jack. And
I never think I'm
Jack had just fallen off
great.
his motorcycle. And so he didn't tell his wife he was going, so he's not in any of the pictures.
Oh my God, this is so funny.
Every time we took a picture, like Jack moved to the side.
Oh my God.
But Jack took us up.
This is so funny. It actually shows that, like, basically similar people gravitate to each other, right? Like, look at this group of people that you have.
And Tim and I, Brian and I have done a bunch of stuff. Rick, this is our first, we rode our bike together, but this is our first kind of real event together. And Tim and I have done multiple, he crewed me for Ultraman. You know, Maine. Yeah, we've all done really cool stuff. And like, no one's won anything. Kevin's won some stuff, but no one's won anything. Oh, Chris, what are we talking about? You're an Olympic athlete. You're messing up the bell curve. And you just won high rock, so what am I talking about? All right, so we got some winners.
Some people have won a little.
Very accomplished.
I know.
So is Nate. I mean, everyone here.
So
he's
is
a college athlete, you know.
But that's also the interesting thing that
Yeah.
Deb brought
That's
up,
true.
is that these 2 weeks also, you get into somewhat of a flow state, right? Because you're on this challenge skill threshold, right? Like it's going to be very hard, and we have to use all our skills that we've accumulated, whether through a lifetime or over the last few weeks, to stay safe on the road, because there's a danger level, right?
Yes, that's what I was saying,
You're
yeah.
already very immersed in the moment, and you're very focused. But then also this aspect of learning new people and growing and getting insights from different people, that raises the interest level and the memories even more. So then into unknown territory with people you're getting to know who all come with different skills. I mean, we're going to get to Florida and it's just going to be this blur of really deep, immersive 14 days.
Yeah, I'm
Have
not.
you guys envisioned Florida in your head yet or no?
No.
You haven't at all?
I'm thinking about tomorrow.
Really?
Can't even imagine.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
Usually, like you like to envision the
The
sale
ending?
of a company or
Yeah.
the finish line of a marathon, but I haven't let myself get there yet.
Or the route, like you
I've got the Survivor
Yeah.
so far. That's the first thing.
Yeah, exactly. We're stopping at a resort day 2 in Arizona.
Oh, you are? Wow. Are you going to stay there for the rest of the
Tim's got
time?
to get his nails done real quick.
Wow.
I've got maybe to like the Texas border, but beyond that, my head just starts falling apart.
I'm staying on one day at a time.
I mean, this is such a, like I said, unique podcast. It's hard because I'm very curious and I don't know how to, about all of you guys. Because at the end, basically though, you guys are all very accomplished athletes. And I want to make sure people understand that. You guys, you didn't ask, people who are not, it's not like nobody here has been doing things daily, every day, in their personal fitness and health and wellness, right? Like the average Joe couldn't just decide because they follow you, yeah, I want to do this too. And the reason why I'm asking this is when you decided to do this, did you make it so anybody who's in your friendship group is available that they can join? Did you ask very specific people that you knew could actually like do it? Like him and him and him, like everybody here is pretty accomplished in that area.
Yeah. Well, 2 things. One is this isn't biking.
And you
Biking
also.
is different because of the danger factor.
Yes, that's
so
right.
So you have to be comfortable making turns and with cars whizzing by you and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that was A. And Dev is a quick study. I mean, we joke about it, but
Yes.
Devin will be able to sort it out and figure it out. And he bear crawled a marathon.
I know. I was going to actually talk about that, but
But
those things, like that's what I'm saying though. So when you first decided that this was not decided, this was one of your things you always wanted to do. But were you strategic in like, okay, these are the people that I'm going to go after, or did you open it to all your friends who were just like?
You know what? It didn't get past 10 people. He only
Right.
had asked 10 people.
I had no nose.
That was it.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, but
That's it.
if you would ask 30
Everyone said
people would be
yes.
here right now. 40 people, if you would have asked 40. Look at that pickle thing. I mean, it's
The-
unbelievable. You know what I mean? You just put it out there, and you'll have the entire, half of the U.S. will be like outside doing it with you.
The camaraderie and the getting, it's like putting together a professional sports team, the locker room has to be right.
Right.
The RV and the tents have to be right. And you know, if someone's slow here, no one cares. This is a group of guys that's just going to be supportive, and so that came into play. And we have a great group. And not only the riders, there's 10 riders, but there's, you know, we're documenting it, so there's a film crew.
No, tell me, what are we doing?
Yeah, we have an RV, we have 2 support vehicles, we have a chef we have to eat, we're in the middle of nowhere. So there's a total of 27 people, I think 32, because some are going in and out.
Right.
32 people that are part of this caravan to put this on.
So you have a chef.
We have a chef, and the chef has someone helping. We have
so 2 chefs, basically.
Yeah, we have
Tattoo artist.
For you, obviously.
We're sleeping in an RV. The RV is a driver, and then we have tents because we can't account. There's 27 people.
Right.
So there's a guy that has the tent company. He has his own RV pulling the tents that he's going to set up.
Okay.
We have 2 people that are going to be at the RV parks to make sure that we have 7 vehicles that they're all set up on time. We have 2 support cars with 2 drivers.
Okay.
We're pulling a sauna and 2 cold plunges on a flatbed truck.
How big's the sauna? How big's the sauna that you're taking with you?
2.
Two sauces.
Are you serious?
Yeah, very serious.
Cold plunges.
We like to think of this as a sauna trip with a bike ride.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that really more or less what it's gonna be? Like cold
Basically.
plunging and saunas and a little bit of biking in between.
I'm going to tell you something. We are probably, if you look at this group as bike riders, we're, you know, excluding Rick and Chris and Nate, Brian, we're probably B- cyclists. We're not like pro cyclists at all. We're better than recreational, whatever. We are top 20 in the world sauna people.
No, easily. And cold plunging, at least. I mean, so you're bringing the cold plunge, like the...
Tim's one of the best
Yeah.
sauna people I've ever.
What?
Who can sit in a sauna longer than Tim?
Isn't Sauna Poppy the best sauna person?
Oh yeah, I mean,
That's professional.
So what does he do? Okay, is that what he's doing right now? That's why he's not here in this podcast. Exactly.
Yeah, the saunas and cold plunges.
yeah. He's a professional. That's what he does for a living.
What do you mean a professional sauna person? That doesn't even make any sense. He
Like,
just sits in a sauna all day. Like,
people go into work like 9 to 5, finance, real estate.
Yeah.
He goes 9 to 5, sauna cold plunge. That's all he does. Literally, he just does rounds. We call them innings.
but how is that an occupation?
You can make anything you want an occupation.
Do you get paid? Do you get paid to be sitting in a sauna all day?
People pay to go in the sauna with him.
Why?
He's the poppy.
Same reason we sit down to do a podcast with you.
Yeah. But no, it's not the same. I'm not. What's confusing isn't that like a pastime, a hobby? How does that become a job? Does he teach people how
If
to
you look
sit
at
for
the
a long
wave
time?
of all the hot cold contrast
Yes,
therapy going on,
yeah.
so he was ahead of the curve. He has a facility where people come in and he all day long he goes in the hot and cold with them and teaches them how to breathe and how to do
Brilliant.
this. It's unbelievable.
So where is he? We need to talk to Sauna Poppy.
It's too cold in here for him. He can't come in this kind of weather. He doesn't go anywhere that's below 190.
We were at one of the Hell on the Hills that Jesse and all their running
hilarious.
we put together, and
Yeah.
he slept in the sauna instead of in the RV. He chose to sleep in a 120-degree sauna.
He was insulted. He
Yes.
even brought up that he would sleep in an RV.
Stop
we
it.
set
Are
up
you
a tent
serious?
for him. He had a beautiful cot and sleeping bag, and he had the choice of the RV. And he goes, "No, bro, I'm going in my sauna." And he slept in a sauna that was still cooling down from 180 degrees for the night. And he woke up in the morning happy.
My
smiling.
favorite thing about
Oh
Sauna
my
Poppy
God,
is
this
he
is crazy.
created these oils for the eucalyptus
Yeah.
kind of things specifically for the sauna.
Right.
He has his custom blends, the poppy blend. But it also doubles as his deodorant.
Yeah. And lotion.
No way. Are you serious?
Yeah, it smells great.
So he's like,
It's like essential
not only
oil.
is he in the sauna, but he always smells like the sauna.
Is this for real?
Oh yeah, you'll
Where did you find this person?
Oh, in the previous.
in the sauna.
No, but what sauna did you even find him in the first place? Did you find him? Where is he from?
I found the poppy.
I don't know his name. Do you guys know him?
Does he have a name?
Luis.
So is there also a cold plunger poppy or
A plunge poppy?
A plunge poppy,
No, but
yeah.
there's a pickle poppy.
Is there? Oh, that's you. There's a pickle, but you're like, you wear lots of hats, Poppy. It's like an all-day running Poppy, a running Poppy, a biking Poppy.
Yeah.
Are you the cold plunge Poppy then, or the plunge Poppy? I see you sitting in that thing for.
a lot of stuff. I'm a lot of Poppy.
Yeah, you're a
Do you
lot of
remember?
Poppy.
Do you remember Evel Knievel?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Evel Knievel growing up?
Yes, of
That was
course.
like a modern day Evel Knievel
Yeah.
without the motorcycle.
It's crazy. I've seen you like do crazy shit on like a treadmill, like you're running and then you do 10 backflips back. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's and then you bear crawled across the country.
No, not yet.
Oh, I thought you did.
Bear crawled the marathon, 26.2 miles.
Oh, not across the country. Sorry, sorry. You're biking across the country. But maybe now there's an idea in there. Maybe you'll do that.
That's his answer to everything.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet.
So wait, you bear crawled a marathon.
Yeah, 26.2 miles in 20 hours and 48 minutes.
Wow.
Through New York City. Started in Brooklyn, all the way up through Harlem, back down through Central Park.
So where did you even get that idea?
Oh man, shoot. This is like 2019, and I was out in England with my buddy Ross Edgley. He just finished swimming around Great Britain in 147 days without touching land. And him and I were together in England. He's like, man, you should do something crazy. And I'm like, what do you think I should do? Bear crawl marathon. And I, like right when he said it, I bear crawled 100 yards, and I turned around and I said, I think I could do this. And then I got back to America and I just started bear crawling. So I did a 1 mile bear crawl in New York City, like day one. But before that, 24 hours prior, I started calling all my buddies, said, dude, I'm gonna bear crawl a marathon, I'm gonna bear crawl this marathon. I'm telling my family I'm gonna bear crawl this marathon. So I go in and do a mile, and then I was like, shit, I don't know if I can do this. And I was like, I already told everyone I gotta do this now. So I just started bear crawling every day for a year. Yeah.
Is that the craziest thing you've done, or is there a crazier?
Nah.
What's the craziest thing that you've done?
I mean, that was pretty great. I mean, I would say Aconcagua, the highest point in South America, is about 23,000 feet, and you're supposed to climb it in 12 days and like acclimate properly, and we climbed it in 41 hours without acclimating, and
Oh
that
my gosh.
that was pretty messed up. That was
Yeah.
pretty hard on the body, but those are pretty close. But it's just your body. I mean, how far can your body go without sleeping, Chris? You know, like
We'll find out.
Yeah.
you know, some 24 hours, 36, 100. Like, what is your body capable of? I don't know. He made a really good point today. We kind of went around the circle and said, why, like, you know, what do you want your miles to be? And he was just like, I just want to be a pain cave. You know, I just want to, you know, you just want to hurt. You know, he wants to feel it, and that's a different mindset.
Yeah.
You don't go into many rooms. I just get back from Antarctica, and I was at a table similar to this, and you have SEAL Team 6, you have Alex Honnold, who just did free solo, and they're talking about stories that most humans, 99.9% of humans, wouldn't even think about even doing, you know?
Right.
And I don't know, it's just, you surround yourself with good people, and then things just keep expanding. Your brain just keeps expanding up to what's possible.
Wow. What's the craziest thing you've ever, like the most crazy adventure you've ever done,
I
Chris?
think 2 months ago was pretty good.
Yeah, that was nuts.
So we did the 7 marathons in 7 days in 7 continents, but we also did 7 skydives and 7 plunges in each location, with also a bunch of Navy SEALs and Green Berets, and also for a cause and mental health and suicide prevention. But yeah, going around the world trying to fit all that in a matter of 24 hours on a continent
Wow.
before you move to the next one. And it's mainly the jumping out of airplanes, out of helicopters, where you're trying to get the safety protocols in, and then also still run a marathon and figure all that out. So that was pretty exhausting, but again, like he said, the stories and the experience and the suffering, it just opens a space within us that just, I believe it creates more real estate in the mind.
Yeah.
When you go to the dark corners of the mind and you sort of open that door, you turn the light on and look around and go, okay, I can use this real estate, or sometimes you shut that light off, close the door and say, I'm not going to that door again.
That's right.
But it allows you to just see the world in a different light.
How old are you?
53.
53. So you're the oldest, you said? 67?
Chris, you look great for your age.
You're
by the way.
53. You look great. You really do.
We worked hard to get to this point.
Yeah, you look excellent. You look great. I thought like you're 42.
How old are you, Kat?
52.
52. How old are you?
52.
57.
50.
54.
Wow, I'm 30. Wow, so you're way. This is
So young.
Take Devin out of the equation.
Yeah.
Our average age is like.
This has to be a movie. I swear to you, this should be like one of these like funny Chris Farley kind of type of movies. Like a bunch of like 50-year-olds on bikes and a 30-year-old. Like, I think it's hilarious.
And the least experienced one is the youngest.
Right.
Yes.
You brought the young
I'm here to
guy
learn. I'm
for
here
his
to learn.
energy.
Yeah, but crazy fit. I mean,
yeah.
you'll be like whipping by, like you'll be back home in like what 3 days, 4 days
We'll
maybe.
see. I just opted in
Yeah.
for the 100-mile tomorrow. I don't know.
Right out of the gate.
Let's go.
Right out of the gate.
100 miles a flying.
Yeah, sure, I'll do it.
Am I? Is there a charity attached? What am I missing? Want to talk about the charity?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the biggest part.
Yes.
So, for all of us growing up, having a bike as a kid was a big part of our childhood. Gave us, the ability to roam around. And
Absolutely.
so the goal is that we've partnered up with an organization called Bike, what is it, Kev?
Bikes for Kids Foundation.
Bikes for Kids, bikesforkidsfoundation.org. I always confuse that. And 100% of the proceeds go to give kids in 2nd and 3rd grade bicycles and helmets that wouldn't otherwise have an
Awesome.
opportunity to get it. Yeah. So it's bikes for kids foundation.org. Yeah. So it costs $135 to get a child a bike and a helmet, and they put these kids through a leadership curriculum to make them earn the bike. And so far to date, we've already donated about 500 bikes. We haven't even gotten started the ride yet. So the goal is
500 bikes already?
yeah. So the goal is to get 3,000,
Seriously?
one for every mile, which was the goal, which would be 300 grand, 300 and something $1,000. So hopefully we'll get it.
And what are you going to do with all the documented like footage? Are you going to try to like do an actual doc for like Netflix on this, or like make it into a Will Ferrell movie, or what are you going to do with it? Just have it for like safe.
Will
just
Ferrell should show up.
I'm telling you, like this is like Anchorman. I feel like the same vibe. I'm telling you, I do.
Another place, I think.
No, I'm like feeling you guys on the bike, like just riding like randomly. There's a couple of you guys who are like pros, but it's just it's
And
the feeling I get.
One of the things, and this is sort of stealing from my talk tomorrow morning before we roll, is that, that documentary, those videos, these stories, when we're 75,
Yeah.
80, and we're sitting on each respective porch going like, you know what, we've had some fun, to have footage of it, and have that
Yeah.
smirk of just, yeah, we did that. And the stories and the experiences with that, that's what I want
Yeah.
with that. And just always knowing, yeah, you want to see this, kids? This is what your dad did, or this is what your grandfather did.
Yeah.
And just them seeing the camaraderie, seeing the support, seeing the outpouring of like helping each other across the country and getting that, I think that's invaluable.
Yeah, I agree. Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
So one thing is that might be getting lost a little bit is that we're doing this in 14 days. It's a pretty aggressive amount of time
Yeah.
to do this. There's a lot of people who get across. Like, the fastest people on a bike, an individual can get across. They barely sleep, maybe for 2 hours a night. They get across in 6 or 7 days.
Best in the world.
But that's crazy. That's like well, not crazy. But
Yeah.
Everyone's version of crazy is different.
Right.
But we're still doing it in 14 days, and that's an aggressive number. It's not like we're just taking a backpack and saying, hey, I got 2 months to get across the country.
Yeah. And that
So it's like there is that element that we have a lot to do tomorrow.
no, I know, and that's why I said initially like
They-
for 14 days.
Yeah.
How many hours are you expecting to be on? Like not holding you to it,
What
but
would you
how
say,
many
Chris?
hours do you expect to be on the bike a
Probably
day?
eight to 10 hours
Okay.
a day on the bike, yeah.
8 to
And
10
that will
hours.
be broken up, like it won't maybe be 8 hours straight. It might be 3 in the morning, 3 around lunchtime, and then another 2 in the evening, right? But
No one's doing all 3,000 miles. We're breaking it up into
Oh.
yeah. No one's going to go all the way through. That would be just like
we would make it.
It would take a lot for us.
Right. I thought people are. I was under the impression that you're allowed to kind of not do it if you don't want to, but
right. So we're going in and out.
But you're
Guys
going to
can
go
jump
in and out.
and
Oh, you can do that.
break it up.
I want to know what other things are on your bucket list besides the ultra marathon, this riding across the country from 14 days. What other things? Like what's next year or the year? What?
Well, I've crossed a couple of them off.
I know,
So one
so-
was to write a book. One was to have a song in a movie, which I did.
Right.
One was to ride my bike. One was to get a black belt in Krav Maga, which is a self-defense thing, which I haven't done.
Maybe next year.
It will take some time.
Yeah, it'll take a little time.
Yeah. So I've been able to check a bunch of them off. ultra marathon I did, run 100 miles I did. So
Ultraman.
yeah, Ultraman. So I don't know, you know, as you get older and you have kids, those things change a little bit. But this is something I really wanted to do. I really wanted to see the country on two wheels, and again have like, it's like part endurance event, part vacation, part adventure. So it's just hard to get all those things with one stone.
Totally.
And that's the thing with bucket lists too. I mean, they change as you get older. Like the things that might have been on your bucket list when you're 25, 30 are going to be different when you're 55, 60, right? And so that also, I believe, like for a guy like Jesse, it'll present itself. It'll present itself what the next thing is, where he's like, you know what, that resonates.
Right. What's that thing? Muskogee? No, what is it?
Muskogee.
Yeah, the Muskogee.
Muskogee. What is the exact definition of that?
There really isn't one, but we've kind of reinvented it to just do one big thing,
One
year
big
defining thing a
Okay,
year.
that's the.
Yeah.
And this is it
This
for
is
all
it.
of you.
Yeah, this is it.
Is there anything else we can, talk about? Does anyone else have anything, like what would be on your bucket list that you'd like to do? Was this on? Was this it?
Yeah,
Okay. And the
yeah.
7-day thing that you did. Is there anything else that you want to do?
I got to do 2 in a matter of 2 months. So
Crazy.
I got to return home to somewhat of a.
That's
What's
right.
on your
That's
bucket
right.
list, Kev? You have anything left on?
Like you said, it's just gonna present itself, just crazy adventures. I just want to be ready, and you're gonna come up with something.
That's
Everyone's relying on Jesse, right? Yeah. What's on Jesse's list?
needs a new list.
I was going to. That's why I was
By the way,
asking.
Rick, Tim, Kevin, and I all did a cross-country hut-to-hut ski thing in Maine also. That was crazy. That was pretty. You were on that trip, right? Yeah. No, because I was getting them all confused with like Arizona, with Colorado Springs. Yeah. So yeah, we've done a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And if the Hawks win tonight,
It's looking
watch
pretty
the game.
good.
Yeah,
If the Hawks
we'll
win,
come back.
we're going to the game. What is
Yeah.
that, Thursday?
Thursday night.
What happened? How does that happen? You have your bike. You have your
Well,
whole
we'll go to the
routine.
game and then we'll fly back to where we left off.
Oh, excuse me. You're right. Okay. So yeah. Okay. That's, okay. Is there anything else to add to this very unique podcast episode?
You know what? It was really fun because it got us it got everyone here a chance to kind of just talk a little bit about each one of us. So thank you.
No, this is great. Thank you guys for doing this, and I wish you guys all the luck, and you won't need it, and have a lot of fun.
You want to come with us, Jen?
Sure. What? Do you have an extra bike? Does Nate have an extra bike for me? He can maybe fit me for.
Those things
You
that
could ride tandem with
Yeah.
that.
Exactly. I'll go to handlebars. I'll go to handlebars. Exactly.
Meet us at the end.
Oh yes.
What we're like.
Exactly. Where do you guys?
The second half of this podcast.
Where exactly? That's actually a very good idea. Where are you guys finishing the whole thing? Oh, well, you're watching the game behind you.
St. Augustine, Florida.
Oh wow. Okay. No, that's
Where
okay.
are we finishing? We're finishing in Florida.
No. He just told me. Yeah, the answer was already given to me. Thank you, Devin. Keep on watching the game. Go. But thanks for paying attention. Thanks for being here. I think we're good now, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.